What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Don's about another video, man, and today we talking about some Modern Warfare 2 news going into weekend 2. They decided to make a lot of changes. They also decided to tell us and let us know that they're not making a few changes, which I'm gonna get into. But you know what I'm saying, sit back, relax. This was a nice little 25 kill streak that I popped off on. This was the hotel map, which so far has been my favorite map outside of the museum map that they took out. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, the first thing that they talked about in this article about the updates that are coming to weekend 2 is the minimap dot. Now, a lot of people were asking about the minimap and why it's not the way that it should be, the way that it's been in every other COD before, you know, Modern Warfare 2019. They basically just said, hey, people shouldn't be hunted for firing the weapon. They shouldn't be punished for firing the weapon. And you shouldn't be able to pinpoint exactly where someone's shooting their gun for. You know, you should have to run around and look for where they shot their gun, which just sound, bro, like that sounds trolly, bro. Like that sounds like I wrote it just to be funny. Like, you know what I'm saying? It sounds like I was just trolling. I was just like, yeah, let me write this. Like, this will get people riled up, you know what I'm saying? And they also talked about target tracking. Now, one thing I want to say about the beta is the way that you see people on the map is really good. Like, you can see people just running around, not firing your gun at people. You can see them really good on the map. Once you fire your gun, that's when like all the bad stuff starts to pop up, all the problems start to arise. And the main problem is not really the muzzle flash, but it's the muzzle smoke. It's the gun smoke whenever you shoot your weapon. It not only shows for you, but it shows up for your enemy. Like, if you're shooting your gun, they're gonna see the smoke coming off of your muzzle, and it clouds your whole body. Like, you can't even see another person if they're firing their weapon. So if somebody's shooting at you in the back, let's just say, and you turn around the corner just to get away from them, but you're gonna pop back out and challenge anyway, when you pop back out, if they're still shooting their gun, you're not gonna see them at all. You kind of just gotta guess where those shots are coming from, or maybe follow wherever the traces are coming from and just shoot where those are. That they talked about was like the user interface. Now, me personally, I found the user interface to be really cool. I think that was like one of my favorite things about the game is how the menus and everything like that look. The HUD, everything looked really clean and really unique and really different, and it just looked a lot better than the past few years that we've had COD. Like, everything just looked exactly the same, and everything does look the same now, but it's a little bit different, you know. It's just a lot more clean and stuff. But I think the biggest problem that a lot of people are having with the UI was like the loadout. Sometimes you would look at a loadout and you would try to, you know, customize your gun, go in the gunsmith, and no prompt would pop up under your gun to like go in the gunsmith. So you wouldn't even know if you were capable of doing it on certain, you know, parts of the menu and stuff. All right, next up is the perks. They talked about the perks a little bit here, basically just saying that they aren't changing the way that the perks work. Now, if you don't know already, the way that the perks work in this game is like, they're almost like you just earn 2 perks progressively as the match goes on. It's kind of like specialist, but it's not really like specialist in a way. Like, you can earn your perks by, you know, getting kills, capping the objective, stuff like that, but also they just progress really slow regardless. So everybody's gonna have their perks pretty late in the match no matter what. So the thing that they talked about in this post was they would update the way that the ultimate perks work so that they're more strong, and you know, you really actually want to get some of them, because there's a few of them that weren't all that good. I'm pretty sure like Tracker was an ultimate perk. Like, nobody is running Tracker over Ghost or Bird's Eye. Bird's Eye is the perk that allows you to have a regular mini map, so nobody's running, you know, Tracker over something like that. I did not expect Dead Silence to be a perk even before like the beta dropped or anything. I already knew what it was. I knew Dead Silence was finna be a field upgrade. That's just like what they do now. They would rather you be able to pinpoint where people's footsteps are than pinpoint where their gunshots are. You know what I'm saying? It just, you know, it makes perfect sense. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of footsteps though, they talked about the footstep audio, and they basically said that the range of footsteps in the weekend 1 was a little too far. Like the range of which you could hear people was a little far. So they're toning that back a little bit, which I think is a dub. Like that's really good. But they also need to take into account the volume of the footsteps. The range, that's a good nerf, you know what I'm saying? Make it a little smaller. It should only be within like 10 feet or so where you can hear people. You shouldn't be able to hear people. If you're at the B flag, you shouldn't be able to hear somebody at the C flag, you know what I'm saying? All the way across the map. But also, I feel like if you're firing your weapon, you should not be able to hear somebody that's behind you. That's just me personally. Like, I feel like if you're shooting your gunshot should definitely be louder than somebody walking around or running around that's right behind you. It should just be louder. Last but not least, they talked about the sliding. Now, the sliding mechanic in this game is pretty whack. Like, there's no reason to really use a slide in this game unless you're doing the slide canceling exploit. And they just said that they're taking that out of the game completely, or at least they're gonna try to. And they said that with the launch of the game, sliding is gonna feel a lot more fluent and snappy, which is actually really good. Like I feel like the difference between dolphin dive and the slide should be apparent. Like if you dolphin dive, you're just trying to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible, and you know, try to like avoid fire and stuff like that. It's almost like a jump. Like a slide is almost like, or a dolphin dive is almost like a jump. Then a slide should be like, if you're trying to maneuver around stuff, I feel like that's where the slide should come into play. Like if I want to slide around a corner to get away from somebody, I should be able to hit slide before I get to the corner and then slide around the corner. That's how I feel like the slide should act in this game. The slide should be more of a movement thing, and then the dolphin dive should be more of a getaway thing. Like, you know, you're using it to get away or get to something, just get straight to it. Whereas the slide should be like, okay, I'm trying to get around this part of the map or get through this little crack or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully that's the changes that they're making when they talk about fluidity and snappiness of the slide. But with that being said, man, I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And with that being said, another day, another dime. You feel me? Peace.